You just blocked them. Everywhere. Deleted their number. Cut off all communication. And you think it's finally over. You think you've escaped. But here's what you don't understand about narcissistic psychology. The moment you go no contact is the exact moment the real psychological warfare begins. And if you don't know what's coming in the next few weeks, they're going to pull you right back into the cycle that's been destroying you. Listen carefully, because narcissists follow a predictable playbook when they lose control over their supply, and that supply is you. You're not a person to them. You're a source of attention, validation, control, and emotional reactions. When you cut that off, you're not just leaving a relationship, you're severing their psychological lifeline, and they will do absolutely anything to reconnect it. The first phase is called Hoovering, named after the vacuum cleaner because they're trying to suck you back in. And this is where they become the exact person you always wished they were. Suddenly they're apologetic, they understand everything they did wrong, they've been doing deep self-reflection, maybe they're even in therapy now. The messages start coming through mutual friends or from numbers you don't recognize. They're crying, they're devastated, they can't live without you. You were the best thing that ever happened to them. They'll change this time. They promise it'll be different. Here's what's actually happening in their brain. They're not feeling remorse for hurting you. They're feeling rage at losing control over you. But they're smart enough to know rage won't work yet, so they perform the emotion they think will crack your resolve. Every word is calculated, every tear is strategic. They're not mourning the relationship, they're mourning the loss of their narcissistic supply. You were giving them attention, emotional reactions, someone to control and manipulate, and now that source is gone. They're experiencing what psychologists call narcissistic injury, which is a wound to their ego so deep it feels like annihilation. But instead of self-reflecting, they're focused entirely on restoring their supply by getting you back. If you respond at all, even to tell them to leave you alone, you just fed them. You gave them the reaction they wanted. You proved they still have power over your emotions. That's why no contact means absolutely zero response to anything. But let's say you stay strong. You don't respond to the love bombing and the fake apologies and the promises of change. That's when phase 2 kicks in, and this is where the mask completely drops. The rage comes out in full force. Now you're the worst person who ever existed. You're crazy. You're abusive. You're the narcissist. You ruined their life. You're heartless and cruel for abandoning them when all they did was love you. They start smear campaigns, telling everyone in your mutual social circle a twisted version of events where they're the victim and you're the monster. They're not doing this because they believe it. They're doing it because if they can destroy your reputation, they accomplish 2 things. First, they isolate you, making it harder for you to get support and easier for them to manipulate you back. Second, they protect their own image, because if everyone thinks you're the problem, no one will believe you if you expose what they really did. This is reputation assassination. And narcissists are experts at it because they've been practicing their entire lives. They know exactly how to play the victim, how to cry on cue, how to frame their abuse as your fault. And here's the truly sick part. Some people will believe them, not because your friends and family don't love you, but because narcissists are incredibly convincing performers, and most people can't imagine someone lying with that much conviction and emotion. During this rage phase, they might also deploy what's called flying monkeys. These are people they've recruited to do their dirty work. It could be their friends, your friends, family members, anyone they can manipulate into contacting you on their behalf. The flying monkey might not even know they're being used. They genuinely think they're helping. They'll say things like, "Hey, I know it's not my business, but they're really struggling. Maybe you could just talk to them once. I think they really have changed this time. Everyone deserves a second chance." What the flying monkey doesn't know is they're being fed a completely fabricated story, and now they're a tool in the narcissist's manipulation campaign. Your job is to recognize this tactic immediately and shut it down. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't need to defend your decision to people who weren't there for the abuse. A simple, "I appreciate your concern, but this is not up for discussion," is all you need. And if they push, they get the same no-contact treatment. Now here's where it gets even more calculated. If rage and smear campaigns don't work, if you maintain no contact through all of that, they move to phase 3, which is the fake transformation. Suddenly, they're posting on social media about their healing journey, their therapy breakthroughs, the books they're reading about becoming a better person. They've found religion, they're volunteering, they're publicly apologizing for their past behaviors without naming you specifically, but clearly directed at you. They're creating a narrative of redemption, and the psychological goal is to make you think, "Wow, maybe they really have changed. Maybe I gave up right before they figured it out. Maybe I should give them another chance now that they've done the work." This is a performance. Narcissists do not fundamentally change because change requires admitting you have a problem, taking accountability, feeling genuine empathy for the pain you caused others, and doing years of difficult internal work. Narcissists are psychologically incapable of this process because their entire identity is built on the belief that they're superior, and any problems in their life are caused by other people, not their own behavior. What they're actually doing during this fake transformation phase is learning new vocabulary to manipulate you better. They're learning therapy language so they can weaponize it. They're performing growth so convincingly that even they might believe it temporarily, but the core patterns haven't changed because the core psychology hasn't changed. Some people fall for this phase and go back, and what they discover is that the narcissist is exactly the same, just with better language to disguise the abuse. Now they can gaslight you by saying, "I'm setting a boundary," when they're actually punishing you with silent treatment. They can say, "I'm communicating my needs," when they're actually making demands and threatening consequences if you don't comply. The abuse continues, it's just wearing a therapeutic mask now. If you stay strong through all 3 phases, if you maintain absolute no contact through the love bombing, the rage, the smear campaigns, the flying monkeys, and the fake transformation, eventually most narcissists will move on to a new supply. They'll find someone else to manipulate and control because they can't function without it. But here's what you need to understand. They don't forget about you. You'll always be a potential supply source in their mind. Months or even years later, you might get a random, "Hey, I was just thinking about you, hope you're doing well" message. This is Hoovering attempt number whatever, testing to see if you've healed enough to be vulnerable again, testing if they can get back in. Your response must remain the same. Nothing. No reply, no reaction, no explanation. Silence is the only language that protects you from a narcissist, because any engagement at all, positive or negative, is supply to them. So how do you actually maintain no contact when everything in you wants closure, wants them to understand the pain they caused, wants them to admit what they did, wants to defend yourself against the lies they're spreading? You accept that you will never get those things from a narcissist. Closure comes from you, not from them. Understanding that they're psychologically incapable of genuine empathy or accountability is your closure. You don't need their admission. You know what happened. Your truth doesn't require their validation. And defending yourself to people who believe a narcissist's lies is pointless, because those people either don't know you well enough to matter or they're not critical thinkers. Either way, not your problem. Your healing requires zero participation from the person who hurt you. Block them on every platform. Change your number if you have to. Tell your friends and family you're not willing to hear any updates about them or pass any messages. Document everything in case you need legal protection later, and focus entirely on rebuilding your sense of self that they spent so long destroying. Understand that going back even once resets the entire cycle and teaches them persistence works, so your boundary has to be absolute. No contact isn't cruelty, it's survival. It's choosing your mental health over someone else's ego. It's refusing to be a supporting character in their psychological drama. You're not abandoning them, you're saving yourself. And you don't need anyone's permission or understanding to do that. Look, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe to change your life. If you're not ready to leave that mess, no video is going to help you. But if you're actually done, then stick around. I just have one question for you. What's that one crazy thing they did to you that you never told a single soul because you knew you'd think you were the insane one? Just drop it in the comments. Let's see how many of us have the same crazy story.